think there's any 50/50s in Dark World, but I do know as we're getting started here that there's like 3 early pots you can get in. Oh wow, that's nice.
Oh, sword to start out with that. Yeah, that's generous.
Yeah, in the but yeah, in the Palace of Dark, or not Palace, but Thieves Town, there is a few 1-bomb pots in after the hallway from the boss. So if you need bombs, that's a good place to go get them.
Yeah, and we see that statue pull right off the bat. Kind of takes place of that tree pull that we're used to seeing, but just giving us arrows today, that's not going to help us much in the start here.
Nope, and we're going to immediately dive into Skull Woods. And there's also some free bombs there as well, so good spot for them at least.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah, there's a few free bomb spots, so bombs are a little bit more plentiful. And these are guaranteed bombs, as I want to add. And the enemies here are not too dangerous as well, so...
Yeah, and we'll see Mister here at the top, and Salty Fry, kind of checking those first couple locations in Skull Woods to see, with so many locations kind of available to you, these are a couple nice locations to check right off the bat when you make your way down into Thieves Town.
And we have the hammer right off. Nice find from Elminster and Salty Fry, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like all of our runners are going to kind of have that hammer right here at the start. It looks like all of them are making it into the Skull Woods here.
Yeah, and all of them also will have that sword.
Man, hammer, sword. I need, apparently, with more seeds coming out, sword and hammer at the start is nice. I don't know if I've been blessed with that kind of generosity with an inverted seed.
And there's our Moon Pearl at Hype Cave. Anything else here that's worth noting?
Wow, this is opening up. And gloves.
Dark World access right there.
That was a good hype.
I said Dark World access there, but actually it's Light World access.
You are correct. That does give us access to Light World right here at the start.
3 minutes in. Not even. And there's our map check. All 3 of the Light World dungeons are crystals because we have a 5-6 at Skullwoods and Palace of Darkness, and I think we have a pendant Thieves Town, a pendant Swamp, and a pendant Ice.
Wow, which is funny because before the race, you said that exact thing. You said if the 5-6 and all 3 pendants are in the Dark World, then all 3 of those crystals are going to be in the Light World.
Yeah.
So all of those joining us right now, this is the start of an inverted seed. Inverted seed does mean that you start in the Dark World and you need to gain access into the Light World. If you access the Light World without the Moon Pearl, you will be in a bunny state, but some of these runners did get the Moon Pearl from Hype Cave, and now they are allowed access into the Light World without being a bunny.
That's correct. And something else I will add here is that Aga is no longer in Aga Tower. He's actually moved into Ganon's Tower, and conveniently, the door's just open there.
Something about lease switching or subleasing, I can't remember. Some landlord feud, I guess.
And in return, Ganon's Tower is now at the top of the castle, and for some reason, Ganon decides to crash into the roof. Anyway, we'll worry about that later.
We're getting Salty Fry is making his clear of Kakariko, while Walther V is farming up his rupees here. This is a new kind of new idea of getting rupees in inverted mode with the arrow mini game.
Yeah, it's a little bit skill based, but if you can pull it off, pretty good money.
Yeah, you can definitely hoard some rupees right off the start. It's almost kind of like a early Houlihan strat for inverted mode.
And there's our mirror, speaking of. Mirror is not as useful as it is in Light World. But there's something to keep in mind here. With the mirror, we now mirror from Light World to Dark World. So now we have Mire access.
Yes, we do. So, like we said earlier, with this inverted seed, you start out in the Dark World, and you no longer use the mirror to mirror from the Dark to the Light World. You have to use it in the Light World to get to the Dark World.
And for those wondering, how does stuff like Case Alpha Grove work and Bumper Cave? How do those work? The ground's just leveled out. You can just go there regardless.
Yes, any location that was only accessible by the mirror before to get in the Dark World, those are now have stairs or other accessible means to entering. And looks like Killer App pulled the Master Sword out of Thieves Town, so he's gotten his second sword already. That's a really good start.
And Salty Fry has 2 shields. And here's a rare hit tile. A unique item is... I didn't quite finish reading that one.
I didn't catch the end of that either.
Well, it said a unique item.
Oh, Killer Up. I think he might have been taking a death warp, or I'm not sure if that something caught him there.
Oh, hey, we have a lamp there on Salty Fry, as well as looks to be the fire shield. And the flute!
And the flute and the lamp. That's nice.
Unique item near the water switch. Okay. So there's a unique item in the dam. I didn't quite see what it was. So one last thing we should mention about overworld, or the overworld here in inverted mode, is we only need a medallion for Mire. Turtle Rock does have a medallion requirement for its front entrance. However, if you're clever, and the seed allows it, you can just use the mirror to just go to Laser Ridge directly. And every other entrances in Turtle Rock, you don't necessarily need the medallion.
That is true. We got our swag ducks in chat there, a couple. I want
to point out here, Walter Porf is checking in Case Alpha Grove, only 3 mods, but look at the grass here real quick. BT.
Just gets to walk in.
Yeah.
So one thing to note, Salty Fry did pull the book from, I believe, the bottle vendor, and with this inverted seed, the book is actually the only way you can access Desert Palace. You can no longer, since the mirror works in reverse, there is no mirroring onto the ledge. That book is your only means of access to Desert Palace. So that will give him that. So with depending on if it's boot locked or not, he does have a fire source to make it into the back and the gloves to get back there. So we'll see if he ends up making his trip down there to maybe gamble on the boots locked or not.
And yes, keep in mind, folks, a lot of the grass there is just because the plane is flattened or that. It's just to make it so that you can access the mirror locked caves without in the light world in this state. And yeah, like you said, the book is required to enter Desert Palace. Arguably, it's almost as important as the ice rod in this seed.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely one of the few items that has one specific meaning. I mean, it has, you can use it to get the tablets, but having access to having the only one item to access the entire dungeon kind of lends itself to interesting routing and interesting play.
Yes, and a lot of the places that you be on cliff sides that we can flatten, like Bombo Tablet, there's just stairs.
Yeah, it looks like our couple runners that didn't make it into Thieves Town deciding to check those first 4 and kind of leave after that. So at this point, it doesn't look like Thieves Town is going to be cleared yet.
So remember that hint we had about the water switch? The unique item was the cave. We already knew that, so that was not a good hint.
Yeah, sometimes the hint tiles can tend to be a bit late.
Yeah, but sometimes you find them sooner rather than later. It depends on when you check. And really, that hint tile over at Dark Ice Rod is one of the easier ones to read in inverted specifically because of how the mirror works.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because you can just check Ice Rod Cave, then mirror, and check the hint.
All right, let's see what Mini Moldorm Cave has to offer us. Money, love, arrows. Oh, we got the mirror. Oh, yeah.
We've been there.
Sorry, have we been here? I was going to say, we've been here already.
Meanwhile, Walter has picked up his lamp now. Can go up Dark Death Mountain. Yes, Dark Death Mountain. Not the regular mountain. The regular mountain has been sealed off.
Yes, you can now ascend to Dark Death Mountain.
And you're probably thinking how Bumper Cave works in that regard? Well, Bumper Cave works the same way it does before, except this time the entrance is in the light world, and you also need the mirror on top of the cave in order to get the item.
All right, we got Walther activating his flute.
Oh, and we may
Oh boy.
That's a shovel there. We may have an Agassi. We may have an Agassi. And Aga is open right now to all runners because we have the glove, we have the lamp on at least two of our runners.
Yeah, and we'll see if maybe one of these runners, when they check these hint tiles, can see if one of the hints might lead to what the shovel actually contains.
It looks like we might have found silver arrows on the Bumper Cave ledge. Still, Minster's going up there.
Oh, we got Walther with a ped check.
All right. Is the pedestal required today? No.
Boo.
Now, even though the ped's not required, the dungeons might be.
That's very true.
Especially
who doesn't like going left side pendant swamp?
Well, there's the boots as well, so Walter's starting to start going fast now.
There we go. Looks like we're getting fast here.
All right, this is another important thing to note. What is the medallion we need to enter Misery Mire? It is Ether.
And we haven't found any medallions yet, so still checking all that out. Oh, the mitts. The mitts kind of, with this inverted seed, kind of take a hit to usefulness. There's a couple locations where you needed, like Ice Palace, you can now just swim to in the Dark World, but you had to access it with the Light World with those mitts, so...
Matter of fact, mitts are not required in Inverted, to my knowledge, unless there's a specific scenario that I'm not thinking of.
Yeah, I think that you're right. I think that in certain cases, or in most cases, I think the mitts can just be totally forgotten.
One of our trackers has informed me that the King's Tomb is the only hard requirement for mitts.
All right, we get this early Desert Palace check to see if Salty Fry. They did not, I don't think, picked up their boots that Elminster and Walther have, so if this is boots luck, they're going to have to take a trip out of here, which it's not yet.
Yeah, those boots, of course, being at the mushroom spot here today. So, not too much out of the way to get. And Salty Fry does have the flute. It's a quick trip to the 3 need to go get them.
Yes, that is true.
I'm not sure if there was a damage boost or the Beamos just tagged, or you got caught by the Beamos there, but it worked. And it is Boots Lock. Big key on Torch in Desert.
Yep. Let's see what Killer App gets from the catfish.
It's our Ether medallion.
Ether. Wow, there we go.
And yeah, Crayfish is a much more convenient check because now you can go to Zora, check those spots, and then mirror and get Catfish. And yeah, Walter checked
such a good routing.
Sanctuary here. I didn't know what he got in the basement, but doesn't look like it was anything important according to the tracker. And unfortunately, the Checkerboard Cave not having anything good, but let's see if Agina has anything good. Quake on Zora Ledge. Ooh. So we need those slippers, maybe. And
yeah, those might be useful.
We have an Ice Run sighting? I missed it then. Shaft will, of course, fill us in here.
And it looks like Killer App and making their way to that King's Tomb that we just talked about, but doesn't quite have those boots yet, so still gonna have to...
Walter has the Ice Rod. It's in the back of Escape. Sorry Didn't mean to cut you off there. Go on.
Oh, no, you're fine. I just, talking about Killer App, ended up routing next to Kingston that we need those mitts for, but doesn't have the mitts or the boots, so I was gonna have to skip that for now.
Also, was that a chicken sanctuary? Because it had the sand cart.
Chicken Sanctuary.
I don't know, it just came to me.
That's perfect. That is absolutely what you should describe it as. Alrighty, so it looks like we're kind of all covering up what each runner has done so far.
Yeah.
The only thing is Killer App has made their way into Desert Palace and found out that it's boots locked and is looking like they're going to end up going up into into Lost Woods to find those boots and be pretty upset that they made that trip first.
And it looks like Minster is going to be taking the blacksmith home, as well as Salty Fry with the old man. And this is something we can allude to as well, is that we've removed the save and quit functionality from the blacksmith because of just some soft lock shenanigans that can happen in inverted mode.
And this trip now with this old man becomes very treacherous because you have to go all the way up to get to that portal, and then you got to come all the way back down and not get killed by the cabbages as they're falling.
It's not that bad. And we have blue mail, and there are armor smiths at the blacksmiths today. But yeah, it's not that bad.
Sometimes if you can get up there pretty early, it can be, I don't know. Maybe in my case, maybe it ends up being a little bit less fun.
Yeah, you can just jump down here and you cover most of that distance, and they never hit you. And the old man gives them a bottle and apparently had a secret entrance.
I believe that's our first bottle too, so that's gonna be our first access to Sick Kid.
That is correct. Sick Kid might have an important item, might not. And we're going to see Walter enter Desert and be one of our first runners to clear it.
And it is a crystal in the back, so I can't imagine that they're not going to full clear. This is going to be... I'm assuming that Walter's probably going to be our first one with the crystal here.
That's right. And Killer App, the last of our runners to get the lamp and the flute. So we have a lot of runners just going all over the place here. Where do you think our next bit of progression we're going to find is? Because I think the next piece of the puzzle we're missing is the hook shot, and that can be anywhere. Except the backside of Swamp. And Elminster with that book. And with the Cane of Samaria, apparently. That must have been in the specialist chest. Yeah, that's a piece of the puzzle for Turtle Rock out of the way. Super Bunny checks here. Nothing important. Moving on. And what a seed this has been. And we need the Bombos medallion to enter the top of Turtle Rock. And now we're gonna see Salty for checking the other places. Elminster going into desert. Walter going to finish desert, and Killer App is just now getting around to checking Kakariko stuff. And I might have lost my co-com. Hello? You there still? Alright, it's just me for the time being. I'm sure he'll be back soon. Alright, Ether Tablet check. Book is not required for anything except for checking, getting yourself in the desert. It is just a glorified ice rod. Alright, here we are with the Lammola fight. Hammer Lammolas. Walter making short work of them. One more left. And down goes Lammolas. First crystal on the board for Walter the 4.
Alrighty, am I back here?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I'm not sure what that was about.
It's fine. It happens sometimes.
But it looks like Lammola's got taken down, hammer strat style. That was nice to see.
Yeah, it was. And we're about to get some armor as well. And it looks like Hera is basement required, so you do need that lamp.
Alright. So it looks like all of our runners did grab that lamp from Kakariko proper, so they will all be making their way down there at some point.
And, oh, well, do we have a hint that said a unique item requires the shovel? Oh boy! And we just checked digging game, that's a heart. Aga might be required this.
Oh, where was the hint tile at? I didn't see it.
Must have been in Hera. I wasn't paying too much attention. Oh, special.
Oh, it's in Spectacle Rock. Okay.
Some errors is above the post, so Graveyard Ledge not necessary to check.
It's gonna be great because the unique item that can be dug up is gonna be the swag net for sure.
Or it could be Bombos. Or it could be our fire rod. Or our bow.
It could be, yeah, absolutely.
We've already seen the single arrow. We've already, I think, seen the 100 stash. We've already seen Uncle's bombs. So there's nothing that would not be required as be classified as a unique item there, except for maybe the Keen of Burna that we don't need.
Yeah, we definitely, it's one of those things that's going to nag in the back of, whoever reads that hint tile, it's going to nag in the back of their mind for sure.
Well, here's the thing. Salty Fry is in a position to actually defeat Aga right now. Because, like we said earlier, Aga is actually in Ganon's Tower, and Ganon's Tower is now where Aga Tower would be in the Light World.
Yeah, so he's one mirror away from going, you know, because you can use that mirror from the Light World to the Dark World. He can go right into Aga's Tower at, you know, in about 5 seconds after he walks out the stairs of Hera.
And yeah, single ruby is not unique. 5 rupees is not unique. None of the ruby amounts are unique except for the 100 rupee stash.
Yep. The single arrow, however, is unique.
And
so that could be dug up.
No, we found that. That was in Super Bunny.
Oh, that was? Okay, I wasn't sure we found that or not.
And Blue King was on Desert Ledge according to chat, so we already have that on Walther's end.
Yep.
So it has to be something good.
Yeah.
Unless it's the only items that'll be bad would be the bug net. We know it's not Quake because we saw Quake on Zora Ledge.
Yep.
Could be Mushroom, could be Hookshot even. Pretty much it's down to whatever our trackers haven't lit up yet.
Yeah. I was going to say, our... and silver arrows were back at Bumper Cave, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. There are 2 single rupees, there are 4 blue rupees, and a whole slew of 20s. About 5 300s and about 7 50s in terms of money available in the seat, and only 1 singular 100 rupee stash.
Looks like we're getting more Death Mountain access here. Let's see what we can pull out of these chests.
Yeah, so any unique items we find now is going to be there. And in case anyone's wondering, oh, it could be just a sword, it could be a shield. Those are, I think, considered something sharp, and I think the shields are considered something else as well. They are not unique.
I think it's something about blocking.
Yeah, those are not unique either. Because they're all progressive items in the pool. And there's the blue boomerang at the Paradox Cave. And I think we also saw a green potion as well.
I don't think... Yeah, I think Salty Fry is the only one that's gotten a bottle so far. So I don't think anyone's been able to check what Sick Kid has for us today.
So, someone is asking, the Sanctuary card is unique? It shouldn't, because it is a hard container. But even then, if it did, we already have found the Saint card in the chicken hut.
Chicken Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see what Salty Fry is going to do here. It looks like Elminster is going to make his way through. He's trying to think about it. And it looks like he's going to go... whatever, this cave... Gosh, I can't remember. Why is this cave escaping my brain?
Spiral Cave?
Spiral Cave. Holy McMoly.
I mean, it's shaped like a spiral. I'm surprised.
I know, right? I was like, I know it's the most obvious name there is, and I don't know why I couldn't think of it.
Well, we're going to see Salty Fry dipping into escape sequence now. Checking our uncle. I don't know how the uncle ended up in the light world when we started in the dark world. Must be a distant uncle or something.
I wonder if he has his own moon pearl. They should have made, like, the developer should have made him, like, some weird bunny state uncle.
And that was a 300 stash there. A horde. So, yeah. I think this might be an ag-required seed. There's only a couple items we don't need. Matter of fact, we don't need the flippers. We do technically still need the hook shot because of Moldorm 2. I almost said Lammolas 2.
Yeah, we can still, I mean, depending on key logic, we can still get into Pod and see a couple of different things that they have there in Eastern Palace. So I think there's a couple locations that a lot of the runners will check before they do Aghanim.
Yeah, but realistically, let's be honest here. If there's a unique item that has to be dug up, and it has to be on that shelf that's behind Lumberjack, this seed is very weighted to being an ag-required seed.
Oh, absolutely.
It could still not be, but it's severely weighted, because we have more required items than we do not required items. And here we go. We're going to see Laser Bridge right now on Elminster's feed.
And this is one of those nice new additions in Inverted. You just hop down a ledge and you're at Laser Bridge in the back of Turtle Rock.
And Walter ditched the purple chest.
Oh, hook shot. Hook shot on Laser Bridge.
That's a rarity. Well, not really. And two small
mess of keys.
3 small keys as well. So, with those 3 small keys, Elminster can go all the way to the front.
Yeah, he can clear out pretty much all of Turtle Rock here in one go. This might be where our progression is. I mean, Turtle Rock does hold quite a few items. So we might see a lot of progression right here. Yes,
a total of 4 remaining. But that is now one more unique item that the shovel may not be. And there's yet another sword in Zelda's cell.
Wow.
So we have Tempered.
Walther picked up their silvers from Bumper Cave. And Killer App gets his first crystal.
Yeah, so things are moving along in different directions, and it's kind of nice to have a nice divergence here. We see 4 runners in 4 different locations, all looking around for items. They're going to converge eventually. But who knows? Maybe one of these passes the right way.
And maybe Walther is headed up to, as he's heading up to Death Mountain, he checks that hint tile and decides that Aghanim's the play. That could be.
Dark Crossroads is our key, so Salty-Fry's going to full clear the escape and end up in Sanctuary.
All right, so Killer App done with Desert Palace. Let's see what he decides
we
to
have
do
all
next here.
the small keys in Turtle Rock there. Well, Mr. having a whopping 5 at that point. There's no locked door you can't get past. Nice. Now, this is a rarely used pipe here, but if you're low on magic, it's kind of good.
Yeah, it's definitely, it'll, I mean, if it's the difference between a death or not a death, I mean, that's a pretty easy check, you know?
Yeah. The only issue with it is it's kind of slow, but...
Oh, let's see if Elminster makes us through this chain chomp room.
And that's where our big key is.
Oh, yep. Alrighty, so it looks like Elminster won't be able to check the 2 chests on the right side without that fire rod, so he's going to end up coming down here to check what's in here and then probably just mirroring out.
There's the Ice River Killer App.
And there's the riot shield for Elminster. So it looks like Elminster's going to go down here and check that hint tile that's right here at the beginning. So with this key layout, Bombos is completely not required. I mean, he made it clear to the front.
Yeah, very nicely done. And now here's Walther checking Super Running, gonna get that single arrow. And yes, folks, let me remind you folks that we did hit a hint that a unique item can be dug up, and we've already dug up a heart, which is not a unique item in digging games, so most likely the shovel spot is required, and our shovel is currently sitting on the Lumberjack Cave ledge. So there's a high chance that it is a ag-required seed right now, but for all we know, that unique item could just be the bug net or the flippers, which we do not need to see whatsoever. Salty Fry, now with Ether.
Well, interesting. It looks like Killer App is foregoing silvers right now. He's deciding that the cost, the time loss of going to get the silvers is not worth the time loss of having, or the time gain of having the silvers at the end is not worth the time loss of going to get them right now.
Well,
or maybe he is going to get them. Never mind.
Well, here's the thing. Silvers are really good to have. Like, really good. Because look what bosses we still have. We have Helmasaur King, we have Armos Knights, we have Vitrius. All of those just absolutely get melted by the silver arrows. Saves you a ton of time in the long run.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would do a lot to get silver arrows. I would go quite a ways out of my way to get silver arrows. Absolutely.
I mean,
it looks like Killer App's gonna find that shovel up here,
and
then
it is.
head up to Death Mountain and hopefully find that hint that's in Spectral Rock Cave saying that a unique item can be dug up.
And someone is pointing out Turret NT Stiffer Hookshot. We don't know that yet. We never checked the Fire Rod specific chests because we don't have the Fire Rod. So if we're missing something important like the bow in Turtle Rock, it's fire locked at this point. Specifically Fire Rod. And Fire Rod is a unique item. It could be buried.
That's
we don't know yet.
True. And there's another single rupee up up on Lake Hylia Island.
All right, Sick Kid, what do you got for us? Just a heart piece today.
Just the last bit of life that he has left.
So, Aga is a time sink, but here's another thing to mention. They've had access to Aga ever since they found that lamp. Because you don't have to have Master Sword or the cape this time around. The barrier is gone. But there's also another hint up there that could just tell you specifically what the shovel has. Unique items in Ganon's Tower, which means there is something that is most likely not required for progression here, so that could be the flippers, could be the bug net there, but it can't be anything required.
Yeah, that ends up usually being something like powder or the mushroom.
And there's the last of our featured 4 Salty Fry checking this. We also have a very strong showing, I forgot to mention. These are not the first 4 people, the only 4 people racing tonight. We have as many as, I think, 12 or 16? I forget. Let me check. Yeah, we have 14 people racing this race. So, good strong showing for this inverted mode of race. This should be very fun.
And with that being said, we do have these 4 featured runners, and while one of these runners might not finish first or may finish first, we won't be announcing anyone that does finish until one of our featured runners finishes first. So if we could keep the spoilers in the chat maybe to a minimum so we can keep everybody here that's watching it just focus on our 4 featured runners today.
And there's Killer IP in the hint, a unique item can be dug up. So, for all we know, that unique item could be required. And it's weighted more so to being required than not required, considering we found most of the junk unique items as well. The single arrow. We haven't found the 100 ruby stash. We found Uncle's bombs. We found both gloves. Junk unique items that we can track at this point are the mushroom, the powder, the flippers, just the bug net. But as far as items go that we need, it could be bombos, it could be fire rod, it could be the bow. And the powder and the mushroom themselves could also lead to an important progression item. So really, it's a 50-50 right now, sure, but it feels weighted.
It does. It does feel like this really wants them to get that shovel. And Salty Fry getting their red cane. Maybe deciding that since they're so close to Misery Mire, maybe that's the play.
Yeah, even then, the flippers, while it unlocks 2 pedestal dungeons, or 2 pendant dungeons, one of them is Swamp, and Swamp is very lucrative in terms of its items and density. And Ice, even though Ice is not 2 item dense, it does have the green pendant, which could also be required. We don't know that yet. We have yet to find a hint that mentions the Kakariko Village Elder, to some regard.
And Walther picking up their second crystal. It looks like they're taking the 1 crystal lead at this point. All of our runners, you can see our other runners have kind of divvied up the other dungeons that they've done, but does have that 2 crystal lead, which is nice at this point.
And there's the unique item. There's the item that can be dug up from the shovel game, and there's only 2 items that you can dig up. So Salty Fry now has an idea that this might be an Agaseed, and I think that's what he is going to do.
Yeah, I mean he's already.
Walter.
Ooh,
The baited me pretty hard there.
I mean, I feel like Salty Fry might be making that. I mean, I don't know. Salty Fry seems like they could be making that play because why would they be going up to Death Mountain again? I think I remember them clearing out most of Light World Death Mountain also, and maybe they're heading into Turtle Rock like Walther is.
Yeah, he's ignoring Aga as well.
And interesting to note, Salty Fry still does not have his boots from Lost Woods that was just sitting there in the mushroom spot. Still hasn't made it up there.
Yeah, that could be troubling in him.
So I'm wondering what's, what might be helpful or hurtful if he ends up going into Turtle Rock. He's going to find that hook shot and think that the hook shot is his access into Mire, where the boots could have been his access to begin with. So that's probably going to lead him away from that boot spot again, that boots location.
Really, the only thing that would even warrant him checking the boots? No, there's nothing. There's no reason for him to check boots if he's already checked the pedestal, which he hasn't done yet. It's just gonna be one of those locations lost to time. But he does need the boots. We have confirmed that desert is boost locked. Big key on torch.
We'll see Elminster here getting ready to finish up Mire. We'll see some, without having the bow, we're going to see some interesting hammer strats and maybe a blue cane or a cape to save the day here.
Yeah, and this laser bridge here, nothing but keys and a hook shot, so... Ooh, Elminster taking a death to New Vitreous, but I think, no.
Oh, that was interesting. I wasn't sure about that. He did not seemed like he was pretty sure that he had a fairy there.
Well, maybe not. But going with the NMG strats, and I don't blame him. If he's gonna try
I don't
again.
blame him at all. Yeah, absolutely.
This Vitreous is an annoying boss, to be sure. One of the more difficult ones.
Oh, let's see if that Pepsi can make it through Laser Bridge here.
And Salty Fry gets a nice parry.
Come on, Pepsi Can, you can do it. All right.
And yeah, I have to agree with someone in chat. Viddy is hard about the bow, although tempered spins with cape is also a good option. Takes him out fairly quickly. We shall see what Elminster's strat is going forward here.
Yeah, I know one strat that you can employ that's pretty nice is using the cape. If you activate the cape and kind of spam your sword slashes, the game kind of doesn't have time to register that it's using up magic, so you can actually stay in that puddle of poison a little bit longer than you would normally be able to.
Yeah. But even then, it doesn't have much time to do that, is the thing.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I've used that strat before, but I've had more equipment. He's only got his Master Sword and I had Tempered Sword.
Yeah, and those eyeballs take a lot of Master Sword swings to take down. Gonna go with the energy stress, though.
Looks like Walther's heading down to the bottom of this. Oh, there's the Tempered Sword for Salty, so I think that's our 4th sword, right?
I think so. Or was it already picked up? I forget.
I can't remember if he's on the bottom of Escape yet, because I know Walther's about to get his Master Sword from Zelda's cell.
Alright. Elminster is now on the big eyeball.
Looks like the safe strats. If you've died once to Viddy, you definitely don't want to die again. So using the hammer at this point is, he's just considering that kind of out of the question, which is very, very reasonable.
Yeah.
Just another key on Viddy.
Unfortunately, cave strats and cave dash strats is not viable with Master Sword because that only does... That takes twice as long. You're gonna run out of magic before you actually kill any of the eyes.
Yeah, you're gonna be farther behind than you started almost.
But yeah, very solid Vitreous fight from Elminster. Gets it done the second try.
Yep, and he's getting into the right side of Misery Mire. Let's see what this other item is. While Salty Fry and Killer App are finishing up their tours of Turtle Rock, they're not going to find much. We know that there's nothing of note yet. There might be something in the Fire Rod locked section, but none of our runners have access there due to not having the Fire Rod yet. Which, do you know where that might be, Wolflink?
Could be in that dig spot.
And how would you access that dig spot?
By fighting Aga. Well, for all we know, though, it could be here in Misery Mire. Could be in Eastern, actually. I don't think we haven't seen a single play on Eastern or Palace of Darkness, either.
No, and that's interesting, too, because we've had a mirror for quite a while now, close to the beginning of the race, and you know how those two dungeons are really nice to double up with the mirror, so I think a lot of runners might be waiting to try to find the bow so they can just kind of one-shot those right away.
There's Salty Fry's mirror shield. And yeah, a lot of locations... This map just blew... This Inverted Sea just blew wide open. No one's even been... I don't think anyone's done a major dip into Thieves Town yet, either.
Nope. I'm not sure if all the runners have. I think most of the runners have. They just dipped the front four.
And for those wondering what I'm talking about here, we had a 3-minute Dark World access. This seed exploded wide open from the gate.
Alrighty, let's see what Elminster has in store for us now. I think Elminster's tile said that there was a unique item held on a grumpy fish, so we've already gotten that. That was ether to get into Mire access, so that was kind of a redundant tile. Hey, you need this ether medallion off of this grumpy fish to get in here to read this tile that says that you need the ether medallion.
Yeah. Redundant hints do exist, and Salty Fry will be entering Misery Mire here. Can full clear the dungeon, but the main thing here is Salty Fry still lacks those boots, and those boots were, again, at Mushroom Spot. Very easy to get to, but very easy location to miss here in Inverted.
Yeah, see, and I like I thought, I figured that they would use that hook shot as their access point instead of, which makes sense, which makes sense at their point right now. Why would you go to the Lost Woods for 2 items and when you can clear a crystal dungeon?
And I did mention Palace of Darkness. Walter reading my mind, apparently. Gonna go in. We're gonna have some new information here. Oh, I see what he's doing, and this is clever. This is very clever. Walter's gonna backtrack to the portal. Or take the flute.
He's trying to decide something. He was thinking about something to do.
I think he was thinking trying Eastern first, then mirroring to do Pod first, doing it essentially the Eastern Pod play in reverse.
Gotcha.
Well,
so you could do the mirror.
Or if you want me to just make a pun on the mode, he was trying to invert the play.
Nice. And not bow lock to start with. That's a good start.
And if someone's asking, what is an inverted race? Oh, inverted is simply that we start in the Dark World. You have to get the Moon Pearl for the Light World. And a lot of the mirror locations are basically flipped around so you can access them.
And poor Elminster is getting ready to get their Tempered Sword that they really would have loved to have in the fight with Vitreous.
So yeah, basically the entire game gets flipped upside down. Is what inverted is. Which is a fitting name if you think about it, really. But yeah, if you have not seen or played inverted mode yet and you're new to the randomizer, I honestly would recommend avoiding it for the time being because it is not the easiest mode to do. But this seed is making it look easy. I'll say that much. And I bet you like to have more bombs, but that text was in green. Chief, you want to tell them what that means?
So as you've seen throughout the hint tiles, that they've all been regular colored text, but those green colored text means that those are right away hints that are not going to give you any information. They're just either joke hints or what have you. Christos usually playing a joke on somebody, saying that he likes, I don't know, sweet corn on pizza. And we see the potion glitch to get past those mimics right there. So that is a minor glitch that's allowed right here, and that will give him access to the bow-locked side. So everything he grabs, this chest right here and the next chest over here, is going to be out of logic.
And it is the big key. So the big chest and the boss are bow-locked, which they were anyway.
And importantly too, whatever he gets out of that big chest is out of logic. So if he grabs, say, some unique island, maybe like the flippers, or even the fire rod, that will be technically out of logic because that key came from a bow-locked section.
That is correct. So we'll see.
That was a nice fight by Salty, getting rid of Vitreous in that first round.
Yeah. That's just how much more power Tempered has over Master Sword. Master Sword is not really good on the later Dark World bosses.
Very true.
Which makes sense considering the game expects you to get Tempered by the time you're done with Thieves Town.
Yes. More keys for Walther.
And we are seeing a spike cave check here on Killer App's end.
I don't think we've seen this yet, have we?
Nope. New information all the way on the bottom half here. Graveyard Ledge. Unfortunately, we got a hint saying that there was nothing good above the pose. There they are.
Just a piece of heart.
Yep. So far, nothing turning up here in any of our locations here. This might be Aga just for the sake of it. But wait, here's King's Tomb. Glove's not, miss not required.
Nope.
And Killer F taking a death. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. I wasn't paying attention.
I don't think so.
Moment of truth, though, for Walter.
Oh, just a compass.
So the bow is only required to fight the boss here. But maybe, just maybe, our progression lies in Eastern.
So an interesting note right here that you're going to see, Walther is using the flute in the Dark World. So all of the flute locations are generally the same. But as you can see in inverted mode, the flute only works in the Dark World due to the nature of the inverted seed.
And as you can see, and you still need to turn it on. Wait, Killer App is making the
Killer App is doing it. This is what we wanted, Wolf. This is what we wanted.
That's right. We've had for the longest time a hint saying a unique item can be dug up. Digging game was played. It was just a heart container. That is not a unique item. So it is weighted right now that we might have a required item buried at the food spot.
Which is interesting because Killer App has not finished Meyer, I don't believe. So he's orphaning Meyer for the Agaplay. That's, I mean, in the sense, that's kind of a gamble. I mean, he's taking the shovel spot leading to something. I mean, obviously we know that it's something unique, but he's orphaning a clearable Meyer and a almost full clearable pod and a semi-clearable Eastern Palace.
Well, here's our first look at Eastern Palace here. Maybe we have progression here. And yeah, but here's the thing. More often, right now, like what I've been saying this whole time, that unique item is weighted to be something we need. There's a couple items that we don't need, but there's far more items that we need, that we either do need, or could lead to something we need. And here's a hint. So cash is in the big chest of Swamp House, so we know not to open that at least.
That'll be nice.
And there's nothing good in Misery Mire, so App is making a decent play here.
So it looks like, yeah, that was our 4th sword. So Elminster did grab their butter sword. So they're going to have butter sword and silvers for Ganon. That'll be a nice quick fight. I'm sure that'll more than make up for the master sword silverless vitreous fight that he had to do.
Yeah. Gold sword doing the most damage, can kill the heads of Trinex in 3 slashes each after you make them vulnerable. Then comparing it to the Master Sword here, which takes 10 slashes per head.
Just disgusting.
Alright, so here's the moment of truth. We'll see. So let's play a little game here. How many blue balls do you think Aga's going to throw at us?
Yeah, let's see some numbers in chat to see how many blue balls we're going to get. And our tracker, Math Girl, once again going with the 15, and which is bad because yesterday during a daily race she guessed 15, and I think it was like 11. So
I'm gonna be nice. Let's have it be like 3.
Yeah, I'm thinking 4.
3 is the most common. Someone being very hopeful doesn't want Aga to troll at all with 0. Oh, there that goes. And Eastern has been cleared out of items, it looks like, because Walter's leaving it behind.
All right, so...
Sorry, go on.
No, you can keep going.
So while we're waiting for this Aga to be cleared, as we're checking other locations here, I do want to give a quick shout out to Michael K and Math Girl for being our 2 trackers. Math Girl especially because she was a pinch hitter for us tonight. So, shout-outs to both of them for keeping you guys up to date on the items we've collected thus far on all 4 of our runners.
Yeah, and shout-outs, I'm going to go piggyback off that, and shout-outs to our runners. You know, we wouldn't be here commentating, having a good time, or you guys here having a good time without these 4 featured runners really putting themselves out there to run these inverted races, or any kind of races, these daily races for us. So, if you want to, if you see something you like or see, you know, these racers that do kind of funny strats, just drop them a follow. I know that follows go a long way for anyone streaming, and, you know, we're all having a good time.
And looks like we were up to 5 blue balls, so we were both wrong.
So that was 6.
Oof.
And 6 it is.
All right, but now here's the moment of truth. The shovel at Lumberjack, is it required? Ladies and gentlemen, the pet is dead, but maybe you get your Aga seed. And you'll notice that it's where you got put in front of Ganon's tower. And I should probably also mention here, once we get out of the qualifier stages of the tournament, and we will have inverted as an option for our runners to customize their seeds with. That is true. There is one caveat to that, though. If they choose inverted, there will be no variation to it, so there won't be like inverted key sanity. At least that's how I understand it.
Yeah, I think the way the group stages work is you get 1 seed that you get to designate, that you get to vote for on yourself, 1 seed that somebody else picks, and 1 seed that's I think random or miscellaneous.
Yeah. So how it works is once it's side A, side B versus side B. Side A gets to pick the rule, the seed customization options. Side B then gets to pick it for game 2, and for game 3, it's decided by a third party. But side A and side B can have a veto as to what they don't want to see.
Yeah, that'll lead to, I mean, pretty interesting modes. I mean, we could see, I don't know if Randomizer's on the table, but that might be.
Randomizer is on the table as a variation, and they have very specific settings for that. I don't remember them offhand, but Randomizer is an option.
Salty Fry still does not have his boots. He's almost an hour in, and most of our runners got him within the first, I want to say, 10 minutes. I mean, since the Light World was opened up to us so quick, that was, you know, Kakariko is a pretty easy check with such an item dense location.
The sad part is, though, if he does Aga, he will at least get information that there's a unique item in the Lost Woods, and it is the boot. So, at the very least, if he ends up being locked into Aga, he will at least get the information where those boots are.
True, that's very true.
It may not be direct information, but it'll be nice to know. And Walter just now picking up the book. The killer app is done with cleaning up the sanctuary.
So now that Walter's got their hook shot, he's going to head over and get his tempered sword out of here in Hookshot Cave.
That would have been nice to have.
That would have been.
So, for those wondering where our swords were, we started with a sword in Link's house. Very nice. Very generous for the seed. We had a Master Sword in Thieves Town. We had our tempered discovery, or it was a second Master Sword at the time, in the Zelda's cell. And the fourth one's there at Hookshot Cave.
Yeah,
so the sword that Walter has missed is the one in Thieves Town. Has not been in there yet.
Yeah, I think he's the only one of our runners that didn't go into that first 4.
Did you see that?
Walter's little bonk clip there.
Yep. That is allowed, of course. That is a minor glitch, I think.
Oh yeah, that's allowed. I think it's a nice way to save some keys, I think, or save some time. All right, Killer App's going to get their shovel.
All right, moment of truth, folks. The shovel may be required here. I can't think of anything else we can find, though. We've checked everywhere else. I think the shovel is required to some degree.
Oh, man. All right, so as Killer App is making their way, I'm going to need some serious hype in chat. That Pepsi can's about to dig up progression right here.
Be it directly or indirectly. There is a very strong chance. Because if it's not, I don't know where else we can go.
Yeah.
There is one location, actually. Deep into Thieves Town. We have not been in the back.
Yeah, the back of Thieves Town is still quite open. It's going to be... I'm thinking flippers just to open up Swamp Palace and Ice Palace. Oh, it's the fire rod.
Aga is 100% required.
What a troll of a location for a fire rod. That means all of our runners, featured or non-featured, have to make that Aghanim play.
And in the case of Salty Fry, does not have the boots, but thankfully there is a hint for the boots. It's in the Aga Climb Tower, so all of our runners will eventually, if they have the boots or not, will at least get led towards Aghanim and be able to get the fire rod in one trip.
So at this point, that fire rod opens up the clear for Skull Woods and the clear for Turtle Rock. So we'll see if that bow happens. If that bow happens to be in one of those locations, Killer App will be in go mode because the flippers won't be required. So at this point, I think you're just kind of hoping that you don't see those flippers.
That's right. And Killer App is shaking the pedestal now. Knows it's couch cash.
And it looks like Salty Fry's making that first dip into the front of Thieves Town and going to get their butter sword.
Yeah, he might full clear this thinking that progression's here. And oh no, what if the flippers are here for Salty Fry?
Oh, that is an evil you can't wish on anybody.
It's a possibility. I can't deny it. Walter is now the second runner going up Aga Tower. We know this is required now.
And that was a hint that everybody got pretty early on, because that was in Spectacle Rock Cave, and you can see that all the runners have finished Tower of Hera. And that, like I said, that hint was in Spectacle Rock Cave, showing that a unique item can be dug up. A lot of these runners started semi-clearing dungeons to try to find that progression, but to no avail. So that shovel is where everybody needs to make their way to or towards.
That's right. And another quick reminder here is that even if you don't have the boots. Thankfully, the tower is nice, and the hint tile that you're going to see right here on Walter's screen will say, or no, next floor, not my mistake. But there's a hint tile in Aga Tower that states a unique item is in Lost Woods. We know that is the boots. So, if one Salty Fry eventually goes there, he will at least have information that where the boots are.
And that was a quick moth dealer kill by Killer App. That was execution at its finest.
Killer App, more like Killer Moth.
There you go, exactly.
Name puns aside, there we go.
I was gonna say, you're killing it with the name puns. Killer Moth and Chicken Sanctuary. I love it.
And the hint for the back of these says that it's unique guys in Lost Woods. So Salty Fry knows another hint for the boots.
I wonder he might be kicking himself knowing that he hasn't gone into Lost Woods yet. He might be thinking that, I mean, it's not necessarily progression for him per se. I mean, it is because you need the boots to get the fire rod in general, but, I'd pay to see what's in the back of his mind right now after seeing that hint.
Apparently I'm mistaken. The Lost Woods hint was in Easter, not Aga Tower. My mistake. I thought it was there.
All right, Killer App finishing up his, or I guess dipping his into mire.
So
you can go.
Salty Fry did actually find a hint for the Lost Woods to be a unique item. Another hint, because there are duplicates, here in Thieves Town. So he does know to go check the Lost Woods now. That is now fresh in his mind. So he will be eating his boots. And hopefully that tells him, check Aga.
Oh, we can hope. So as we've seen a couple of the other runners, Misery Mire doesn't hold any progression per se. We're still looking for that bow, so Killer App will just be executing this dungeon. I don't think he'll be doing it anywhere near go mode, so we'll just see what some of the other runners have for us. Oh, the bow!
That's actually both good and bad for Salty Fry. Good because it's required, it's progression. Bad because that could lead him astray and not check Aga.
That's true. He's definitely going to clear Pod and Eastern Palace first.
And if the bosses have something else, like the flippers, that can leave even more astray.
So that does put us in no mode. We know that the bow was the last item that we are looking for. Now, Salty Fry, the only item that he needs for his go mode is that fire rod, which is locked behind the shovel, which is locked behind Aghanim.
And Elminster's about to get the bow too. However, Elminster has everything he needs to clear Aga Tower if he so chooses. And I missed what the item was on Blind. What was that?
I think it was just arrows. That was great. That was such a fast fight. I kind of just looked away, and it was there, and he was gone.
Salty Fry does need the boot still, but Salty Fry knows that there's a unique item in the Lost Woods, and is not going directly there to check. So he's going to go into the front next to the, which is next to the fortune teller. It looks like.
So in case some of our viewers don't know, this blind fight is it is scripted. So as long as you bring the maiden to the room that Elminster is in right now, Blind does follow a certain pattern. And two, no matter what sword or weapon you end up using that can in turn damage Blind, it will take 9 hits per head. So three hits per said phase. So you can use the fighter sword, or you can use the butter sword, and that does the same damage all around.
Yes, and that's for the fight. The pattern does change a little bit. If you want but if you hit him in the very first time he's vulnerable, every single time, he always moves the same way. Always shoots the fireballs the same way. But at the same time, because it's always the first hit possible hit. It's easy to drop it, but it's also easy to recover from that point because you should know what to do.
Oh man, I bet Salty Fry's kicking himself for those new boots he just got for not having them an hour ago.
And the boots are leading in towards desert.
So it looks like Elminster's gonna come in here, clear up Eastern Palace, get his crystal, go back into pod, clear up pod, get his crystal. We know we're not gonna find. I mean, pray we don't find flippers in here.
Walther is doing something very smart here. Walther's grabbing the purple chest. Gonna get his fire rod. Gonna get his Cane Samaria.
Yep, the last bit he needs is he just needs to finish up Thieves Town.
But here's the thing. Thieves Town is a pendant dungeon.
Yeah, and it's at the bottom it's in the back bottom barrel of Thieves Town too, in that big chest.
That's right. And if they follow the flipper, they follow the fire rod and the bow, there's a chance that flippers can be found. Although it's more likely than not the flippers are in Gannis Tower at this point because we do know a unique item is there.
That's very true.
But if they are in the dungeons, the runners might think and go to Swamp or go to Ice. But they might go to Thieves Town anyway, because Thieves Town, of those 3 dungeons, I think is the fastest one to check and full clear.
Yeah, that's an interesting note.
And a very nice turnaround from Elminster, getting them down in one or two swings, getting through. Killer App making short work of Land Molas, now up to 4 crystals.
And Salty Fry gonna finish up their Land Molas fight. And it looks like Walther is going to be... I think they're headed up to Aghanim. No, he's already been there.
Yeah, Walther is...
I'm finishing up Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Walter's going to take the fire run and go straight... And the Cane of Samara and go straight to Turtle Rock. Elminster has now defeated Helmster King, the first run of our feature for to do so. What is he holding? Okay.
Vanilla Heart.
That is 1 bullet dodge. And I think we have all 3 items in Eastern, so that's another bullet dodge. So it comes down to the Moth. If the Moth has an item and it is flippers, we're in trouble. Or at least some of our runners are in trouble.
All right, so for those of us just joining us, we have a couple items that all of the runners are looking for. If you see fire rods lit up on their screen, they're looking for the bow, or if they have the bow lit up on their screen, they're looking for the fire rod. The bow was found in the big chest of Thieves Town, Pendant Thieves Town, mind you. And you can go.
I'm getting corrected in the chat here. We have already seen the Moth. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, we have seen the Moth. Killer App did take him out with ease. But anyways, the fire rod was locked behind the shovel spot, and that shovel was locked behind Aggle 1. So at some point, all of these runners need to take down Aghanim.
Well, I just realized that I could also be wrong in the fact that we only have 3 items left here in Turtle Rock. All 3 of those items are on the boss and then the fire rod respectively.
Yeah, that's very true.
If one of those is the flippers, Walter's going to be led astray. But again, more likely it's going to check Thieves Town over Ice and Swamp. Let's hope that's the case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I was corrected. There's 2 items left. Must have missed one of them. And he can immediately check the fire rod chest right now, because he's going to leave and re-enter. And there's Gold Silver Killer App.
So I think what we're going to have here is I'm assuming that Elminster is going to. It's a toss-up. They might go into Skull Woods or they might go into Turtle Rock, but or no, they'll probably go to Skull Woods. I don't think why would they go to Turtle Rock? They still need that Fire Rod. So I'm assuming they're probably going to go into Skull Woods next, and then I think make that Aga play.
And there's the Mirror Shield for Walter. Here's the Armos Knights for Elminster and Salty Fry coming up. And
with those cellular arrows, that's going to be short work.
And yeah, just encompass on them. Alright, so this is the moment of truth here. Is there a possibility that Walter can be led astray here? Comes down to what's behind these torches.
And we know one of them is going to be a compass, it looks like, from his screen.
Yes, one of them's going to be compass. The other item is 20 rupees.
Just the big 20.
Our runners are safe. They know it will be Thieves Town. Flippers are in GT at this point, I think. Because we have checked everywhere else that I can think of.
Yeah, that makes. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's true. I think that's probably where we're gonna end up finding him.
Also, unique item in GT. Try 3 unique items. Flippers have to be there, as well as our Bombos Medallion, because we know where Quake is.
Yeah, that's true.
Heck, 4 even. We don't even know where the mushroom is.
Well, I mean, those items could still be in Ice Palace or Swamp Palace after you get those mitts from GT.
That is true. And Elminster is making the Aga play. This will make him the first runner of our Feature 4 in Go mode. Once he eventually gets his shovel.
Killer App showing how easy Trinex can be with that butter sword. Even as a Pepsi can.
Doesn't quite get the quick kill on the second phase. Gets the initial 2 hits, but did not get the third. So, something about the Trinex second phase here is before the center starts glowing, his head is vulnerable. So if you're quick, you can get a spin off, get him bounce back into him again for a double hit, and then slash the head real quick for a quick kill. Unfortunately, did not get that slash in. It works for both Tempered and Butter Sword. Same damage regardless. As far as the timing goes, just release the button when you see the shell disappear. That's it. And make sure you're in a position in which you can hit the head and get bounced back into the head again. It's like the Wizrobe, the second room of Wizrobes in GT. Simple in concept, but somewhat tricky to execute properly.
Yeah, so we'll see Elminster make his way into the Aga fight while Walther finishes up Meyer, Salty Fry finishes up Palace of Darkness, and Killer App finishes up Turtle Rock.
That's right, and Killer App has defeated Trinex here, so only has one option left, and it is Thieves Town. Specifically the bow.
But will they make that option? That's always the question.
They're out of options. Yeah. It has to be Thieves Town.
Yeah, you could see him pause. You could see him kind of pausing on that on the flute screen, going like, "Where do I have left? Where do I have left? Okay, Thieves Town. That's it."
All right. So we have a legitimate race here between Elminster and Killer App.
Yeah, they're gonna be getting their go mode items. I think. I think Killer App's gonna get his in just a little bit. I mean, maybe 30 seconds, maybe before Elminster does.
So it's literally go to Moth after Elminster's done. It's go to Pod Eastern for Killer App. And I think Killer App, it's going to be roughly an even time between them both getting in go mode. So we have a legit race here. This could come down to the Ganon's Tower play, which we will get to in a little bit.
Yeah, but I think Elminster has already taken his way through Turtle Rock, so I think he's just going to go right to Trinex and then right to Ganon's Tower. And with Killer App needing to go through Pod and Eastern still, I think that's going to give Elminster a little bit of an advantage to start out with.
Here's the benefit to playing in inverted mode, actually. The path to Ganon's Tower is very set in stone here with an Agassi requirement. They just had to save and quit in the light world. They'll be put on top of the castle and right in front of GT. So that travel time is nothing.
Yeah,
it's
very
nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's great.
So it literally comes down to how fast each runner can clear their respective dungeons.
Oh, that's true. Someone in chat saying that Elminster does need to do Skull Woods as well because they need to get their Fire Rod to do Skull Woods. So that does kind of close that gap a little bit.
Yeah, so it's literally 2 dungeons versus 2 dungeons. Fire Rod dungeons versus Bowlock dungeons. We have a legit race here, folks. Keep your eyes on Killer App and Elminster, as they are our 2 runners who will be in go mode. Starting with Killer App right now with that Thieves Town big chest. Elminster, though, is not far behind. Getting the shovel now. Just needs to go dig up the Fire Rod. And
Killer App.
Arguably,
Sorry, keep going. I was going to say Killer App at 121.31 is our first runner in go mode.
And Salty Fry, I think, also just got the shovel. Or did he just check Aga?
Just checked him.
Ooh. Okay, well, he's going to go do Aga, it looks like.
Yeah, I believe he is the last runner that has yet to do Aghanim.
Well, he's out of options as well, so Salty Fry's going to be a little bit behind our other 2, but here we go. Elminster, fluting to 4, going to get the Fire Rod. Killer App has to full clear her pod and get to the back of Eastern.
This is a hype race. This is absolutely a hype race.
Yes.
And Salty making short work of those gold knights with that butter sword. And it looks like the...
Actually, wait a minute. This is a huge difference here. Killer App still needs to look for keys. He still needs to find that big key. For both, I think, Piles Dardis and in here in Eastern Palace. Thankfully, the Palace of Darkness big key is on the Bowlock side, so that'll be a really quick check. Elminster now has the Fire Rod and is in go mode. Has to just quickly go kill the Moth, quickly go kill Trinex, and he is done. We have a race, folks.
Yeah, so as someone's pointing out in chat, the Eastern Pod dip compared to the Skullwoods and Turtle Rock. So with the inverted seed, you can actually jump down from a ledge on Death Mountain right into Laser Bridge, and that is 1 room away from where Trinex is. So you don't have to go through all of Turtle Rock anymore. It is just a quick shot right there to Trinex. I mean, it is, I think the time difference is gonna be close. It's gonna come down to execution, but I mean, both these runners are high level runners. They both have the same equipment, so it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great to view from here on out.
Yes. So keep your eyes on those 2 feeds as we see Walter in Thieves Town going to get the bow. Salty Fry, likewise, is going to go get his Fire Rod here right at Aghanim. We might have 2 races. We might have a race between both of our runners at each of the diagonals here. And they're nowhere near each other. This might as well be a 2v2.
This is great. This is literally, they were just a couple minutes behind in exactly what the other 2 did.
So we have 2 great races here building up in this already larger race. We have Elminster versus Killer App, both of which are now in go mode. Both of which are now... Well, Killer App's down with one dungeon. Still needs the second one. Elminster just needs to... Oh no! Elminster grabbed by the Wallmaster.
Oh no.
But just needs to clear your Skullwoods and Turtle Rock, both of which are quick. And then we have Salty Fry and Walter. Salty Fry about to get the fire rod here after digging up the bow. After digging up the fire rod, rather. Walter is on the way to finding the bow here in Thieves Town. Those two runners are going to be neck and neck as well going forward.
And look, Killer App's making their way over to the Palace of Darkness. Most likely going to see them clear this, maybe flute to the portal and get back into the light world at Eastern Palace and use the mirror. We'll see. We will have to see. Yep, just making their dip, gonna flute to the portal after they're done. Oh, I guess they've already done Eastern Palace.
Yep, and there's the Moth down. One dungeon each now between Elminster and Killer App.
And we know that big key is in that bow-locked section, so as long as Killer App goes right and does the bow-locked portion of Pod, he will find his... Oh, no!
He's going to go straight to the back. But if he goes with these early checks first and not go to the back, he will eventually be put on a path that leads to the big key.
Yep, he is just gambling that the back has something that's more important, aka the big key. Oh, he looks like he's going back.
He's going back to check the... Oh, he's not going to check the attic chest.
Yeah, he's going to fall down and use the portal to go back to the right room and then hopefully go down in the bunk room.
No, wait, that bottle tells him it's bow locked, I think. He knows it's bow locked.
Yeah, no, we know it's bow locked, but I'm saying that, yeah, this is what he's going to do. He's going to bonk off of this and then end up getting his big key right where he wants it to be.
And there's the bow for Walter. He is now in go mode. Salty Fry going to go get that fire rod, or at least a shovel for it.
So as we'll see here, with the biggest difference between inverted and standard or open, you'll watch Elminster drop right off. Oh, well, you could have seen him if that dead rock didn't get in the way. But you'll see him drop right off this ledge, mirror right here into the dark world. And this room is Laser Bridge, so he is just a short room away from Trinex. He's got all the keys he needs.
And look at this. Last crystal for Killer App. Last crystal for Elminster. And we're not going to have much time here, so we're going to explain this real quick, because we have a game we like to play. 22 chests to get in his tower. Or get your guesses in chat real quick, because we don't have much time. We're going to see a quick save quit when the 7 crystal drops. Straight to the castle. Which
it looks like we'll see if Elminster gets that 0 cycle on Trinex here. Looks like he's going to the back to get it.
No. Already, you're too slow. Maybe, wait.
No, he got it.
Nice.
That's execution for you. And it's going to be nice because Killer App's going to have that. Killer App's going to have those silver arrows to take down, or 2 slashes with the butter sword against Helmasaur.
Yes, and there's the quick kill I was talking about right there. Very clean fight from Elminster. Very quick Trinex kill. And now is a mirror and a safe quit away from going to Hyrule Castle, where Ganon's Tower is for us today, here in inverted mode. You guys have already been guessing your chat. And Chief Salad, what's your guess?
Well, so our one of our trackers, Math Girl, keeps on guessing 15 for blue balls. I'm gonna guess 15 for this big chest, or for the big key. That's where I'm going with.
All right.
What about you?
I usually base it on the seed, and today's seed was all over the place, but it's overall pretty fast here. We're gonna have a very quick time here. I'm gonna say it's middle of the road. I think it's gonna be chest number 12.
That's good. That's good.
And there's Trinex down for Killer App. We're going to be following Elminster as he goes through the GT here. Chest 1, 10 arrows. Chest 2, as he gets the mirror out, small key.
Looks like he's going to go left.
Soldier right now in go mode as well.
Killer App is a mirror and a save code away from, or I guess a portal change and a save code away from Aghanim's Tower. Or from Ganon's Tower.
Location 3, the torch, 20 rupees. Salty Fry does not have the silver arrows. I almost didn't even notice that. Those are on Bumper Cave Ledge. Small key in 4. Small key in 5.
In 5.
Bombs in 6. 20 and 7. We're gonna keep going.
All right, let's see if Killer App. We know that there's a key on the right. Let's see if Killer App makes that right side play. That'll be the divergence that we need, or maybe possibly the lead that he needs. He is making the right side play. This could be hype. This could be the difference.
Red mail from a minister, chest number 8. Walter has defeated the mob. Salty Fry not far behind. We have a race here, folks. We have a race.
All right, so we did see Elminster enter Ganon's Tower first. So regardless of if Killer App does find that big key chest first, we will go off the number that Elminster finds it.
Chest number 9 here, the Fire Snake Room. It's the 4th small key.
Oh, this is hype.
10, 11, 12, 13 here in the rando room. Right side, heart piece. The mushroom.
There's that mushroom.
Bombs. There, 10, 20, single for 11. Compass and heart container. It's on the Armos Knights or in Bob's chest.
And it looks like Killer App did mirror out, and he's going to follow the footsteps of Elminster, putting him a little bit behind, but we can still see execution change the tide of this race, but it's going to be tough. Elminster, as we know, is a high-level runner, just as much as Killer App is, so we'll have to see if he can stave him off.
All right. If Killer App went true right, this would have been a very tight race, but it is not the case. Chest number 14, Bob's chest. Today contains for us the map. Armos Knights required. Doesn't matter if you go left or right. You have to fight these big guys for your big key. Although one chest remains. If this is not here.
The tile room.
And here we go. Chest number 15, 16, 17. 17 is your big key today. I don't know who gets right, but congratulations to you. This is just for fun, though, so we got nothing for you. Sorry. But Elminster, on his way up to Ganon's Tower.
Actually, doesn't look like we had anyone guessing 17. Bum.
Interesting. Who was the closest?
I think the closest one that I saw was a 16 by Subby Pig.
Well, if we had the bot enabled, which we are not supposed to have enabled for this race, that would have been the winner because it goes by whoever's closest if no one guesses.
Yeah, so the reason why we don't have that bot enabled is because this is a daily race. There are quite a few runners that are racing that aren't on the restream, so you could technically go over to somebody else's stream, find out what the big key is, and then just easily guess it here.
Yeah, you can cheat a little bit, basically, is what we're trying to get at. But the big key guessing game is all in good fun, so it doesn't really matter that we had the bot running or not.
All right, and we see Elminster in the gauntlet making short work with those silver arrows and the butter sword.
And yeah, this was an inverted C here, folks. So as you can see on Salty Fry now, who is now entering Ganon's Tower. That's where Ganon's Tower is. Agate Tower is where Ganon's Tower is. You need the move pro to visit the light world, and you start in the dark world. It's a thing. It's a thing. This is, like I said, not an easy mode for newcomers. But if you can get through it, it's pretty fun. I will say that much.
Yeah, it's definitely like if you've got a basic grip of the randomizer, and you want to give inverted a shot, I would just say maybe just explore it first. Don't speed run it. I would say kind of get a grip on, knowing that the flute only works in the dark world and there's different mirror locations that you have to figure out. All right, and Killer App making their way up to the gauntlet while Elminster is lighting the torches. Let's not hope for a despawn here. Don't think it looks like he got his torches lit in the right kind of
And it was
time.
24. As that's where silvers. Those were on the bumper cave. And well, seeing he's here, I guess I can say that he is the winner of this race. He crossed the finish line about 3 minutes ago with a time of 1:32.23, getting a new PB as well, so good job on that. So there has been a winner in this race, but there's still the winner of the Feature 4, and it's looking like Elminster.
Let's see if Elminster decides to do the hover. I'm just kidding. He's not gonna hover.
Yeah. Not checking Moldorm's chest either.
Killer App making their way through the gauntlet now. Let's see if they can make up a little bit of time here. It's gonna be hard. Bonking off of those spikes it's not the way to go. And we're heading into the Aga 2 fight. Let's see what kind of patterns we get. Oh, just one on that. That was kind of a spoopy pattern there. Oh, those blue balls really messed that one up.
Yep, here's our Aga 2 fight.
Killer App finishing up with Lanmo 2, heading into the Canisamaria room, because that's just where the best use of the Canisamaria in the entire game is. Alrighty, and here is the final Ganon fight for Elminster. Butter Sword and Silver Arrows is probably not going to give him too much trouble. I know a lot of times I see runners forego the torch glitch, which, can you explain the torch glitch, Wolflink?
Well, both torches go out sequentially left and right, and if you can, and they're both coded to go out one after the other. But if you can relight the first torch before the second torch goes out, the right torch's code gets overridden and it doesn't ever go out. Which essentially lets you conserve magic.
Yeah, and also when you get that left torch or you get that right torch to stay on, when Ganon's warping while the other one is off, you can use that. You can light that at a very specific time, and it will cause him to stop warping and show his cape like that. That way you can get another silver arrow at him. And there we go. Elminster, 4 silver arrows to the heart of Ganon, and he is finished up. Let's make sure he doesn't fall down over the bridge. Get some GGs in chat, please.
Yes, GG's in chat here. I see some people are giving me flack about spoilers, but I usually just announce the winner of the overall race. The winner of the restream, though, was Elminster with an overall position of 3rd place with a time of 1:38.56. Another PB as well. The only other person to beat Elminster besides the winner Illis was Pink Kitty Rose with a time of 1:38.44. And now we are now joined by Elminster. GG's User, good racing here. It was actually really close on the restream.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Killer App was right behind on your tail in GT. Went right side, you went left. And if he went full right, you both would have got the big key at roughly the same time.
Oh, okay.
So-
Because right would have been faster for him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he mirrored out at the point where you get the key.
Oh, I see. So he didn't go full. Okay.
Yeah, if he went full right, that would have been a legit good race. You both were basically 2 dungeons to finish. He had the bow lock dungeons, you had the fire rod lock dungeons. It was really tight. And not to be showed up, the other 2 featured 4 also were in a similar situation. Bow lock versus is fire lock.
That's cool. I'm really mad that I died to Vitreous. That was dumb.
Yeah, but good recovery at the same time. Nice second attempt.
I should have just used Kane to start with, or Kane.
It looked like to me you almost thought you had a fairy in a bottle because you just went in there like blazing saddles, ready to go.
Yeah, I was trying to do the NMG strat basically. But yeah. I was like, oh, I've got 3 hearts. I can take 1 hit from. I can take a couple of hearts of damage from the slime still, and I got poked by an eyeball. And like, it was just like that. That just happens sometimes, but it's not a risk that I should have taken. So, yeah.
Yeah, but you more than made up for it on that second try.
Yeah. So, what were your thoughts when you saw the hint for in West Spectacle Rock, from which you said the unique item was in a digging spot?
I did not see that hint.
Well, that was kind of what told us that it was a high chance for an Agassi, because there's only 2 dig spots in the game, one of which is the digging game, and that was a heart container. So so it was very likely that your progression lied behind that dig spot. So
that's interesting. That explains some of the other finish times, I guess. So like, I normally do not check the Spectacle Rock hint. I don't think it's worth it.
Alrighty, and sorry to interrupt here, but we do have Killer App finishing up the Ganon fight, and he is going to be crossing the bridge here in just a second. So GG's in chat for Killer App, finishing with a time of 1:42.05, finishing in 5th place overall.
and
Great
Beater
race
was here.
between you guys.
Love that message. But yeah. So you found the bow there. Were you worried that the dungeons that you were missing were bow locked at any point? As we are now joined by Killer App, GG's you.
Yeah, GG.
And I'm gonna echo what I said earlier with Elminster. This was more close than you realize. If you had gone full right to get that big key, you guys would have been right on each other's tails, neck and neck. That's how close this race was.
Yeah, I figured it was pretty close.
You had the bow lock dungeons. He had the fire rod lock dungeons.
Ah,
That's how close it was, and it literally came down to left versus right, and he went left first.
yeah. I figured a lot of the people who wrote Route GT like they usually do would it would pay off, because I usually go right and then left, and it, of course, second to last chest to check had the big keys. So what can you do?
Yeah, considering that's such a popular play to go right side, especially when when you get that key to start with.
Right.
That's such a normal play. It's not like it's not like you can really bang yourself up about that.
I'm sorry here to cut you off. We just found the flippers. They were in Moldorf's chest.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. That's what when you guys were finishing up before you guys each had your respective go mode items, you were finishing up a couple of dungeon checks, and we were just hoping that those flippers didn't show up to take you guys into Ice Palace or Swamp Palace, because that would have been terrible.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid. Pod and Eastern without the bow, because if I had gotten the flippers, I would do those dungeons instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Elminster, you potion glitched to get that big key, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I did that because I wanted to check how many items are in the front of Pod, so I could deduce whether the center island was a key or not.
Yeah, we were trying to. That was another thing that we were talking about, because you got the big key out of that bow locked side. So technically, that big key chest would have been out of logic. So we were hoping that once again, nothing like the flippers would have shown up there and led you way far out of the way.
Oh yeah, I knew it was going to be out of logic. I was hoping it maybe had fire rod, but like I knew it couldn't have the bow. So
this seed was ag required, as you know. Did you ever check the? I forget if you ever checked the spectacle rock hint.
Yeah, I did. That's what led me to do Aga early, because I'd already done the digging game and didn't have anything. I'd already gotten a lot of unique items at that point, so I was thinking it'd probably be like maybe at worst like the mushroom or powder.
I'll let you know this much. I don't think you were the first one to actually do Aga on the restream. I think it was actually also the fourth who is just now doing the fire puzzles while Salty Fry is on Ganon.
I didn't do it right away, but I figured after a while that something had to be there.
Well, it had to be because the other spot that's buried was the digging game, and that was just a heart container.
Right.
Also, were any of you damaged in that chicken hut? I forget.
What do you mean?
It was Chicken Sanctuary. That's where the Sankar was.
Oh.
And here we go with the silverless strats on Ganon for Salty Fry. He intentionally got rid of all of his arrows, not because he doesn't have the silver arrows, but because he's doing it for the memes, which we all love.
Yeah, Chet does love its memes, but
miss that torch glitch though, so that's more important. The torch glitch is definitely more important when you're doing silverless than when you have those silver arrows.
Yeah, because it makes it easier to see Ganon predict where he's going.
Let's hopefully he can get through this. I think he has plenty of magic. He just needs to make sure he sticks all those sword spins. As we have Walther entering in the Agatu fight.
And I don't even know if pokes work on the Ganon.
Butter pokes work.
Okay. So, something I should probably mention here about the silverless fight here is that Salty Fry is doing spins. Spins do not do more damage to Ganon, but the damage box lasts for so much longer that it makes it a little bit more consistent to get silverless hits in. It is 3 silverless hits per silver arrow, so you don't shoot at them. So a total of 12.
So I gotta ask Killer App and Elminster, are you guys in the next tournament?
Are
you racing in these qualifiers right now?
I've done all my 5 races. I'll be in groups.
So what kind of group stages? What are you thinking for your race preference for the group stages?
If I may interrupt here just briefly, Salty Fry 7th place with a time of 1:47.50. GG's to him as well. And Walter is now joining us in the Ganon fight. He's in the Ganon fight. He will be joining us after he's done.
I'm afraid I can't reveal what I'm gonna pick.
Oh, that's okay. Absolutely, that's totally fine.
I mean, that's perfectly fair. I mean, your opponent will know when you schedule your matches, which is, I think, the fairest thing you could do in group stages.
Yeah. But, as for, I don't know, what other people might plan to pick against me, I don't want to give people too many ideas.
Oh, yeah, that totally makes sense.
That totally makes sense, too, yeah.
Well, I mean, considering the show that you put on for us today, I can't imagine that anyone's going to throw a seed at you that you can't handle.
Yeah. Although, I should probably ask this. What did you guys think of your opening to the seed?
My opening was excellent. I was it was so perfect.
Less than 3 minutes, and you guys had Light World access. I'm sorry, I almost misspoke there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I usually save the hype cave for one of my last checks early on. So I checked all the Skullwoods. I did the first 4 in Thieves Town.
And Walter the Fourth has now defeated Ganon. The last of our feature 4. Sub 150s across the board. GG's to him, as he is finished with an official SRL time of 1:49.33. GG's, and we are joined by Salty Fry.
Hello.
GG, Salty.
So, would you like to know where your silver arrows were?
Oh, I saw them. I just chose not to pick them up.
Yeah, those boots are kind of in a weird location, and you needed them because Aggo was required.
Yeah, the Lost Woods is always an awkward location in Inverted, I find. Like, I always seem to just forget about it because I'm so used to kind of just checking it on my way into Kakariko in opener standard mode, right? And this, I start from Kakariko mode and just kind of head south, and it's kind of just sitting there north of where I start. And yeah, this is what kind of happens. I kind of do everything else and kind of completely forget about it. It could have been a lot longer if not for that hint in Thieves Town that reminded me, hey, there's a unique item in Lost Woods. I'm like, oh, damn. Maybe I should go there.
That hint was also in Eastern Palace, and I thought for a second there was also an Naga Tower, but I was mistaken.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw that hint saying that there was something unique in Lost Woods, so we were hoping that you would kind of take that bait, which was, kind of led you to those boots.
Also, yeah. I will also say this. Thank you for telling us where the flippers were, because we were worried about those for the longest time.
Well, I did get a hint saying there was a unique item in Ganon's Tower, which kind of I had in the back of my mind at the beginning, because I was wondering, I'm like, could that possibly be Hookshot? I mean, because that was a possibility until I found Hookshot in Turtle Rock there.
And we are now joined by Walls of the Fourth here. GG's to you, sir. The last ever feature 4 to finish, but by far not a very strong time here. Very respectable. Sub 150.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, I think you, Walter, were the first one to do Aga Tower and reveal that our fire rod was indeed shovel locked.
Yeah, I probably catched up a lot of time by doing that.
Yes, it was just the bow, I think, that tripped you up.
I guess not. The only thing I skipped by doing Aga early was killing Blind and checking Ice Road Cave, I guess.
Yeah. The flute flippers, by the way, just so you're aware, they were in the Moldorm chest.
Yeah, I got the flippers.
Oh, I didn't see that. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys can't be mad about that opening, though. That was a sub 3 minute Dark World, or no, I keep saying Dark World accent, but no, it's Light World technically in inverted mode now, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a super early Light World mode. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, the sea just exploded wide open. We were worried about
that kind of thing is always a little iffy, though. When you get that many things open right off the bat, it's pretty easy to go all the wrong places, which is kind of like what I feel I did. Like, I put Thieves Town off until the very last possibility, so I ended up double dipping Pod and Eastern because of that.
Yeah, and there was not many locations for that bow to be. It was in Thieves Town all along with... I'm just going to say this. All 4 of you are fully equipped here in terms of basic progression items.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, when that Light World opens up like that in Inverted Seeds, and you guys showed us there was so much divergence right off the bat with all the different locations that you guys can go to. I mean, I think, can't remember who it was, finished Desert Palace pretty early on before anybody else had even gone there.
That was probably me.
Yeah,
I felt like I went there pretty early, but I sure as hell didn't have the boots until a long time after that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I routed in pretty much most of the Light World, Overworld before I went to Desert.
Well, overall, how did you feel like for an inverted seed? I mean, it seemed like, apart from, an Aga seed and the bow being kind of deep in Thieves Town, it seemed like it was kind of straightforward. It didn't really lead you in a lot of terrible directions.
Yeah, I really like it. Oh, go ahead.
It didn't really lead us in a lot of directions at all, I feel.
Right.
Yeah, the only things we didn't find were the powder, which we can assume was in Swamper Ice, as well as the Bombos Medallion and the Bug Net. We knew where Quake was, at least.
Yeah, and the front of Turtle Rock not even needed to be used since there was 3 keys and a hook shot on Laser Bridge. That gave you access to the entire thing right off the bat.
Yeah. And for those the rest of you wondering where the mushroom was, Killer Rat found that on right side.
Yeah, it was right side.
Yeah, and I told him these two, but I'm going to tell you to you, Salty, and you, Walter. If Killer Rat went right side, we had a very tight race on the restream here. We would have, because you saw where that big key was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sweating until the last chest behind Armos.
But yeah, GG's to all 4 of you. What a great time overall. Everyone finishing within 2 hours on an inverted MOT, which is not an easy thing. So
that was a great race for us.
And my co-com here, Chiefs asked you, Salty and Monster Killer. I'm gonna echo that to Salty and Walter. Are you guys in groups yet, or are you still trying to get your qualifiers in?
I
yeah.
have one left, but I'm not looking so high. I'm like right on the outside because I think all my races I forfeited one, but that's gonna be a race. But the other ones I finished I think top 25 in all 3 of them, but Andy was in all 3 and sort of screwed the
Yeah, he's a jerk.
screwed the times there. So now I'm still on the outside.
Well, Andy is the spring champion for a reason. He's going to skew the tables a little bit.
Yeah. Oh well. If I'm in, I'm out.
But yeah,
I
I've got
still have 2 left to see what happens.
All right, well, good luck to you all. And GG's once again. What an excellent race. Chat, make sure to give these 4 runners here a follow. They put on an excellent race for us, as well as all the ones who finished off stream here. There's been at least 10 finishers here. Still got a couple more left to finish, as of this point in time. Make sure to also give my co-commentator Chief Sally here a follow, as well as our 2 trackers, Mapgirl and Michael K. They did an excellent job keeping the trackers up to date for you. Also, we are on Speed Gaming 2. Make sure to give Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming's 2 through 6 a follow here to keep track of all the races going on right now. And matter of fact, I checked the schedule before we began here. For coming up next on Speed Gaming 2 is the Final Fantasy Randomizer League race. So if you're interested in that, stick around. That should be starting within the next hour or 2.
GG's, you guys.
Yeah, GG's.
And I should also add that if you guys are more comfortable speaking in, or listening to rather, German, French, or Spanish regions, we do have those available here on Speed Gaming as well. But that's going to wrap it up for us here. So from all of us at Link to the Best Randomizer, I have been Wolflink0270. We just see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Toodles and poodles.